Oh, hey Lawrence, didn't see you there. So I wanted to respond to your video in which you talked about your diary journal. That was lovely. That day that I was going to read from my diary for you, but I didn't because I couldn't find it that day, what I did find, and I was actually almost going to talk about, was I had this journal that I shared with my BFF at the time. She would write in it, and then when we saw each other, she would give it to me, and I would read what she wrote, and I would write in it, and we'd trade it back and forth. So I have those diaries, and I was just reading through it and trying to find something interesting, but of course, nothing was interesting back then. Everything we wrote about was just, you know, ridiculously redundant and boring. It wasn't just boring, but it was also kind of sad. Like, there was this boy at the time, because there was always a boy, that I was pretty good friends with, but, you know, things happen, and, like, he let me down, and I was really sad about that, and I wrote about that a lot. I thought it was really funny that you wrote about Curtis in your diary, because I wrote about him too, of course, and there was this one time in particular, I was asking Curtis some questions, just trying to figure out some stuff. He said he knew who Shannon liked, and something, and so I was, like, asking him, like, oh, so, like, who do you think she likes? I'm just trying to, like, ask him these questions and stuff, and he was just totally being vague and not answering the question and beating around the bush and being just really obnoxious. And, like, really, he was laughing. He's like, haha, I'm not giving you a straight answer. It's so funny to keep you guessing. Yeah, that kind of drove me crazy, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because, like, it's funny that that happened then, and it drove me nuts, and I feel like a lot of guys are like that today, too. Maybe not a lot, but there's guys like that today, too, where it's like, I'm asking you a question, just answer the question. And they pride themselves in driving me nuts and being annoying, but really this isn't about them, this is about me. Like, so it's funny that I was like that then, and I'm also like that now. Like, I need to know things. I don't need to know everything. I understand that. I don't need to know everything. I'm not going to know everything. But I like to understand my surroundings. And sometimes, like, I ask people things because I just want to understand things. And then I can relax. Like, I need all my ducks to be in a row. And then I don't have to think about it anymore. I can do something else. So I thought it was really funny that you wrote about Curtis, and it's just funny to see him from a different point of view. I always thought of him as, like, the cool kid that everyone was friends with and stuff, and, like, the girls liked him, the guys wanted to be like him, and all of that stuff, but he was just not, he was polite, but he was not particularly nice. He was just a disappointment. And this seems terrible to say because he's still out there. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I'm sure he's not going to watch this, though. But it's not so much about him as much as it's about when you're a kid and you want to be friends with somebody and they just let you down because they don't want to be your friend, and how much that hurts. So he was not my biggest problem or anything, but I was pretty sad back then. You know, when you're homeschooled and stuff and you're sitting at home a lot, all I could do is just think about everything. I just found myself just always constantly dwelling on everything, dwelling on my problems and the people that were letting me down, and there's nothing I could do about it. I didn't see them often enough to make any progress, so, you know, like, nothing changed, and I just had to think about it. Like, and that just drove me crazy, just thinking about it. And that's why sometimes, even now, today, like, I like being at home in general, but there comes a point where I'm like, all I can do is think about everything at home, and I can't stand it, and I need to get out and do things and make progress in my life and make new memories and stuff, and not just be thinking about the old ones or thinking about what I wish I could be doing. There came a day where things changed for me, and that was when you and I were in Fiddler on the Roof at UMass. Instead of writing, like, I can't believe he said this, I can't believe he did this, I'm so sad, everything's so terrible, what am I gonna do? Then I was writing about, like, oh, this thing happened and that thing happened and this was so fun. And I was having so much fun, and I just loved it. I loved being freaking out of the house, but I loved being with other people, and people that were nice, you know, and they didn't have to be, like, my best friend or anything, but, like, just being around people that were actually nice to you. And side note, this isn't the road I'm gonna go down today, but I found at that age, like, the people at church They were so like self-absorbed. I mean, I think probably people have this experience at school a lot, I would assume. But like, everyone's just so self-absorbed in their own life, and the people aren't very nice, and you just want to make some friends, you just want to make it through, like, but people aren't very nice and they just let you down, so it's kind of depressing to have to go there all the time. Is that what school's like? That was probably my first experience really with theater, and not that that's what theater is like all the time, but that changed. I'm not going to say it changed my life. Being in Fiddler on the Roof didn't change my life. Okay, it really did, because I met some people that I've been friends with for a long time, and that, yeah, so in a way it changed my life. But now that I'm older, I'm able to look back at what I was writing in those diaries and see what a change happened in my life. Comparing like when I was sitting at home all the time, thinking about all my problems, and when I was out doing something, enjoying being with other people and stuff. So I feel like it's like that now sometimes. You know, of course I don't love the Z all the time. It's work and it's exhausting, but I like being around people that I have stuff in common with. Isn't everyone that way? In my pursuit of classifying the things around me and understanding my surroundings so that I can feel stable, I always feel the need to summarize everything that I say to make sure that it made sense. I'm a little cold, so if I've been making this face the whole time, I think that's why. But I'm going to assume that I've given you enough to think about without having to explain everything again. That's unnecessary, right? I don't know. So Lawrence, I've been enjoying your videos very much, and I always want to like talk about them and respond to them, but I can only make one video a week, barely, and I have to talk about my own feelings and not just respond to yours. But I'll respond to yours though. This is a response to your diary one. Lawrence, I will see you on Friday.